This is your sign. You are supposed to be here. The universe wants you here. That is why you are made up of elements like oxygen, carbon, iron, and everything else that was forged and created inside of stars millions and millions of years ago. Hi, welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Kieran. I am on a quest to read from one of my tarot decks or one of my oracle decks for 30 days and to give you some interpretation of what I read in the cards, and I hope that it resonates for you. Today I'm going to be reading from my Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, which comes with this beautiful guidebook. I have read from this deck before, and I plan to do it again. It's a circular deck, so it comes in this round box. It's really cute. And these cards are circular, which makes it a little difficult to shuffle, but I'm going to try. The cards have this unique artwork that's sort of a blend of handmade and watercolor and collage and just very imaginative interpretation. It's an oracle deck, which means the cards are pretty unique. There are some very interesting conceptual ideas in here, as we'll see. While I shuffle this, I would love it if you would leave me a comment telling me what you think of the fact that your body contains elements from the stars, literally. Oxygen, carbon, all these things were made inside of stars millions of years ago. Also, subscribe to this channel if you don't mind. If you haven't already, share this video with someone who might be interested in these things. And I would love it if you could also thumbs up, like the video, so that it shows up for other people in their feed too. Today I've decided that I'm going to read 3 cards. So I'm going to pick 3 random cards from this deck and then do an interpretation of those cards. We have got the Mask. Interesting siren outside. The Mask is one of the cards. The other one is called Alethea. And then we have the Cave. So to see them kind of side by side, I'll hold them up. We have the Mask, Alethea, and the Cave. I'm going to read from the booklet for each of these cards and then put them together into an interpretation for you. So first, the Cave. The dark, the portal, the interior. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return to for meaningful retreat, where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city, while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. Next we have the Mask. The persona, the performance, the reveal. We often think of a mask as something that conceals our identity, yet contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. The mask gives voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. You are in the realm of theater, so anything is possible. Speak with the other's voice, embody the other's limbs. You are taking part in the ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception around, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. It's likely you've become so attached to a single mask that you need to fall face forward into this perception-bending time. Trust it. Interesting. And then Alethea. truth. Our soul recognizes the truth. When someone speaks it, a cool wave of relief washes over the room and all the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside. Such is the power of aletheia. It has an undeniable resonance that goes beyond the rational. We can also recognize aletheia by its contagiousness. When we hear someone speak the truth, we see the truth within ourselves and are more likely to tell our own story. The aletheia card requires us to step toward an act of truth. This might look like a conversation, a gesture, a poetic act, or a ritual that honors the unveiling of what's been concealed. Reclaiming your own truth is a way to reclaim your vital energy, health, and sense of belonging in the world. Truth has its own wings, so set it free. Okay, interesting. The concept of concealment showed up in the mask and also in aletheia, which is a card about truth. And then we have the cave. You know, it's interesting. All of these three things seem to have in common something about hidden things, hidden concepts, hidden masks, hidden personas, and the truth. So what I'm getting from this, I am getting that this is about something hidden that is coming to light, a truth that you have been running from or that was concealed from you. Truth that was buried in a cave, maybe by you or by someone else. Something that was suppressed, and even masks were placed on people throughout your life that would prevent you from seeing their true faces. But the truth will always win. And if you align yourself with the truth, there's a saying, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. It's true. So we have to align ourselves with the truth. Somehow I'm also thinking of these two cards, the truth and the cave, and how they're related through the Plato's allegory of the cave. In case you don't know, it's a kind of allegory wherein Plato, I think, tells the story that the world is like a cave and all the people are in the cave and they're watching shadows on the wall, and these shadows are playing out whatever scenarios, and the people in the cave only see the shadows on the wall and they think that's the world. One person breaks free somehow and gets to step out of the cave and sees the truth of the world outside the cave. And when they come back to the cave to tell the people that, hey, there's a world out there, these are just shadows on the wall, there's all this other stuff going on out there, people don't believe them. People turn on them. That is an allegory for how things are. Sometimes we have to wear a mask in order to tell the truth because people are in a cave and can't handle the truth. Sometimes we have to tell the story in a theatrical way, as a story, as fiction. A lot of times there's a lot of truth that can be told in fiction that you might not be able to process if it was just told outright in some kind of straightforward fashion. A lot of us respond to stories more, right? That's kind of human psychology too. So these two also work together in terms of the mask can also conceal the truth, sometimes on purpose, because that is the only way for the truth to get by, especially if you are thinking of a scenario where there is a lot of restriction and suppression. And then the only way to communicate truths is through these innuendos and insinuations and stories and fables and myths and things like that. And yet we have the cave. And the cave can also be a place of safety, as the interpretation in the booklet says, because it's also a matter of thinking of the cave as a protective place, as a cocoon, as a womb, as a place where one can retreat to and have your favorite things there and feel safe there. And that's good too. That's a different kind of cave. That's a personal cave. That's a cave that everybody should have. A place of solitude, a place of solace and retreat and comfort. So there's two aspects to the polarity of the concept of the cave. And this deck has a lot of these kinds of cards, which I would say have their multiple interpretations. This is an example of that. So you can take any of these cards and tell a story or a pattern that emerges. And sometimes there are multiple patterns that emerge. And in this case, what I'm seeing from these cards is this dark spot here could be seen as the cave too. So the cave is within this person's experience and they're emerging with a mask on, because maybe the figures who are inside the cave in Plato's allegory would respond better if you went in there and told them about the outer world, but you were wearing a mask that they were familiar with. Because a lot of times people are not able to handle something that completely questions their understanding of reality. So throughout time, a lot of people have been able to communicate their words or their thoughts through music, through story, through religious stories, through fables, mythologies, legends, allegories. So what kind of truth can you dig up in your life? What is a truth that you are aware of that maybe you've been hiding from or running from? There are lots of truths, but I believe that there is truth out there. Yes, personal experience can be very important and different people might have different interpretations. But the truth is always that we are connected. We have shared feelings and experiences. By we, I mean humans. And that we ultimately all are looking for connection and love and belonging. Even when people do bad things, they usually do it out of those needs, which is hard to handle sometimes, to even wrap our minds around it. But if you trace back the hole in their heart, the damage to their soul, the trauma that they faced, which is always rooted in a lack of love, sense of belonging. And so if that's the truth, if the truth is love is what we want and need, why is it so hard to face? It's a simple truth. It's a basic truth. Why do we have to put on all these masks and tell all these lies and hide in caves when that is the ultimate basic truth? And every philosophy, religion ultimately goes back to that, if you think about it. You can call it different things. You can call it different names. The way I see it is that if we want a better life and a better world and a better experience being who we are, we should embrace that truth. Ultimately, everything goes back to love. And that's the journey that you can go on. And you can use your own personal cave to sit with yourself, to have a conversation with your own inner voice of intuition, whatever you want to call it, and discuss that and figure it out, because there is a sense of love that we are all seeking. So for me, that's what this means, because the ultimate truth is love. If you notice here, it's almost a yin-yang symbol. So there's the two sides, black and white, but there's black and white and white and black. And I always thought the yin-yang is beautiful because it's the whole thing. There's no only white or only black. The truth is the whole circle. And there may be some of this in that and some of that in this. So if there are multiple perspectives, there's always, I find, a kernel of truth in different perspectives. And if we don't recognize the kernel of truth in the other perspectives that may be out there, I don't know if we can arrive at a full truth. The whole truth contains kernels of truth from many different places and people and experiences and points of view. Truth is a holistic experience. I would say that going to your cave is good, but also remember there are people who may be stuck in there, in their own caves, and not even know that they're not dealing with reality, and maybe doing very bad things. And some of them are doing those bad things under this mask of happiness, joy, I'm perfect, everything is fine. That's also a mask, because we don't want to face that side, but it's there. See, half of this mask is in the darkness. So we might only see the happy, joyous, colorful part, but there is another part of that entity, of that person who is trying to mask their emotion. It's there. And if you want to reach people, then it's okay for us to reach out to the whole person, depending on your situation, as long as you're safe and it's not a toxic relationship. It is important for us to think of people as the entire entity, not just the part that they're putting on for show. And ultimately, we are all headed for the truth. One way or another, we'll find it, because we're all from love and we're going back to love. I hope that this was plentiful and thoughtful for you. Come back. I will do another reading. Let me know if you like these 3-card readings. I might do more of these. This has been great. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and like and share this video. Please comment if you can. Just send me a heart emoji. Tell me that you understand. It's all about love. I'll be back with another video soon. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.